So we'll take some time here and go over some really basic vocabulary for circles. So we have to understand that the interior of a circle, okay, is all of the points on the inside, right? So this should not be new. We've talked about this word before, right? Interior is going to be on the inside of the circle, right? And we have to understand also that the exterior of a circle is a set of all the points on the outside of the circle. Okay, so just a quick reminder of that vocabulary I think is kind of helpful here. All right, if we look at some specific parts of a circle, okay, the first one is a chord. So it says a chord is a segment whose endpoints lie on the circle. Okay, so a chord, you notice we have a set of points that's on the inside of the circle here. Okay, I'm just going to kind of make this line a little bit thicker so we can see it. And it says its endpoints lie on the circle, right? So its endpoints would lie directly on this black line right here. Okay, it then says we have a secant. Okay, it says a secant is a line that intersects a circle at 2 points. Okay, we should understand the difference here. Okay, if we look at these two things, right, a chord is a segment and a secant is a line, right? Segments have endpoints and lines do not. Okay, so we have to kind of understand the comparison between these two, how chords and secants are actually different. Again, if we go over to our picture and I draw a blue line on this, if I just drew this blue line, that did not include the arrows, this would represent the chord. But since this actually intersects the outside of the circle and continues on forever and ever, this is considered a secant. Okay? What we have to understand is that chords and secants, both of these things right here, have points on the inside of a circle. Okay, just like a radius and a diameter would also have points that are on the inside of the circle. Chords and secants also have points that are inside of the circle. Okay, now we want to look at the tangent. So it says the tangent is a line that is a line in the same plane as a circle that intersects at exactly 1 point. Right, so it's on the same plane, or I like to say it's on the same sheet of paper, okay, as the circle, right? And it's actually going to only intersect at 1 point on the circle. Okay, so we would say that the tangents kind of lie on the exterior, right? They don't have any points that are on the interior of the circle, right? So we have to understand that again. Tangents are on the outside of a circle, and it's only going to intersect the circle at 1 point. And that point that it intersects is just called the point of tangency. So you can see that point C here is the point of tangency. Okay. Moving forward here, let's just look at a couple examples. Okay, it says identify the line or segment that intersects circle L. Okay, so we want to look for all of the chords here. Okay, all of the chords that are in this particular diagram. Remember, it's just a segment that connects 2 points on a circle. Okay, so again, that has to be inside, right? So I can see one right here. Okay, if I connected this right here to this right here, technically, I can actually consider that a chord. So I'm going to name that segment JM. Okay. Any other ones we have? Well, this one right here, I have KM. This would technically be considered a chord as well. It's a straight line segment that connects 2 points on a circle. So I can also call segment KM a chord. Okay. Now recall that a secant, okay, it's a line, not a line segment, that is going to go through 2 points on a circle. Okay, so if I look at secant here, right, this one actually has lines that continue on and on forever. Okay, so I can call this line JM. Okay, so line JM, where I put the arrows on the end there, because remember, it's going to extend on and on forever. Okay, our third one here is tangent, right? So tangent is going to be a line that's on the exterior, or the outside of the circle, that only intersects the circle at 1 point. So I can see this line right here is the case, right? And we could say the point of intersection is going to be about right there. Remember, there's a little lowercase m next to it, so we can actually call this line m, and that would be considered a tangent. Okay? Now, we actually have a diameter here. Okay, one thing, this diameter actually goes through the center of a circle. Okay, we called it a chord earlier, but a chord can also be a diameter if it goes through the center of circle L, which it does. All right, so we can actually call the diameter here segment KM. Okay, and then finally there should be multiple radii, okay, that we actually have here. All right, so for radii, we just want, again, that starts in the center of a circle, and it's going to be a segment that goes to the outside of a circle. So we have 1, 2, 3 different radii. So our radii here are going to be, we'll call it segment LK, segment LJ, and segment LM. Okay, so again, make sure you draw this diagram in your notes. Use your geometry template if you need to. But let's look at one more example for a little bit more practice here. Okay, so remember our chords here, maybe I'll do purple for this one this time. Our chords here, again, a segment that's going to connect 2 points on a circle. So I could call this a chord. I could call this a chord. I could call anything else. Nope. So my chords here are going to be ST, or segment ST, and segment QR. Okay. Let's maybe look back here at a secant. Remember, it's kind of like a chord that is also going to go through the endpoints of a circle and go on and on forever. Right? So it looks like the chord that I might have would be right here, okay, where it goes on and on forever. So I could call this segment ST, or line segment ST, okay, because it goes through the circle on and on forever. All right. My tangent in this case would be right out here. Again, this is a segment, or a line, excuse me, that's on the outside of a circle. That's only going to intersect the circle at one point, and it's going to go on and on forever. So my tangent here would be line UV. Okay, my diameter is just a chord that goes through the center of the circle. Okay, so we can actually call this part right here again a diameter. So that's just going to be segment ST, which is also a chord. And finally, all of our different radii here. Okay, our radii would be, try to draw these as clearly as possible, would be segment PT, segment PS, segment PQ. So again, segment PT, PS, and PQ. Okay, and that's really all there is to it. Okay, again, this vocabulary practice will be very, very helpful as we move forward in this chapter.